Wintertime, oddly enough, is not necessarily a bad time to look for spiders. This extreme limestone location has turned up large numbers of Latrodectus webs in the wintertime, which of course were left over from their summer activity. Several exhibitions into this habitat have shown an increase in the number of webs I've located over the past several years, which tells me not only is survivability up, but 2 to 3 year old matriarchs are abundant. Now, the cliff faces themselves are not ideal, of course, for Latrodectus. They do not like the exposure, but it's the rock ledges and cracks near the ledges that make excellent habitat and is where we find the majority of webs, as there is plenty of protection and solar heat for them to regulate egg sac incubation. So in the summer, where we see juveniles a bit on the cliff walls, it's because they are simply ballooning downward to the next rock ledge or bench along the face. Now, most of my photography here is not only spiders, but of course lichens, and the lichens tell me a lot about the varying microclimates in this habitat. Getting myself to and from camera shot setups here can be a bit precarious.
It's wintertime, and so obviously there's not a lot of spiders in here. In fact, none. But there are webs. Black widow webs last the wintertime, usually at least half the winter. They're pretty strong, and so we can locate those. And in locating those and looking for the webs, at least then we can locate spiders. We can locate matriarchal females, the ones with eggs. So matriarchal females, juveniles, etc. So it's not without its benefit to come looking through here and climbing these walls and stomping around. There are plenty of black widows. Now this is Latrodectus hesperus. There's plenty of black widows in here by means of just locating their spider webs and learning a bit about them by just the webs. Their webbing is that's their whole life, and so it's very important to analyze that, I guess, to understand what they've been doing and how they've been doing it, and especially count egg sacs. That's a good way to understand the breeding, who's matriarchal, and where she is and where they're located.
Again, it can be invaluable to use winter webs as a means to not only learn about spider behavior, but to locate those webs with multiple discarded egg sacs, which is evidence of 2 to 3 year old females, or what I refer to as matriarchs. Investigating each ledge along a pitch, I've seen that more than just wind and rain exposure, but availability of sunlight seems to be the biggest factor in web placement. Black widows being mostly nocturnal and active at night, in this region seem to put most of their preference of web location on daytime factors, which of course means considering predators and sunlight and sun hours of sunlight. Latrodectus strands are extremely strong. No matter how much the wind and winter batters them, there's always a thick header of anchor strand remaining. I think the parallels between my own climbing and the spiders' lives of ropes and strands is obvious, but I think more than that, I've gained even more reverence for their lives and their abilities. It's hard to get good perspective of how unbelievable these creatures really are. Evolution and adaptation like nothing else.